Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax. This is Julia. She's lovely. And today we are talking about navigating the gay grapevine. Try saying that 10 times fast. But the rumors, the gossip, the struggles of being in a small community, inside a larger community, all of this stuff plays a really big role in how you date, how you interact, how people talk about you. And I'm going to give you some general advice. My final piece of advice, I think, is the most important. So if you want to skip to that part or you just want to stick around, you'll find out. So my introduction to the gay community was rather abrupt. I didn't start until, I didn't come out until I was like, hi, Lily. I didn't start or come out until I was about 20, 21, something like that. And that was a real blessing in some ways. Okay, yes. She's right here, by the way. This is Liz. Hi, Lily. Anyway, sorry. I didn't really get involved in the whole gay community and all of that stuff till a little bit later. I wasn't a teenager, which I'm very thankful for because rumors start really quickly, and the ways that people sort of talk about you and identify you from the very first date, from the first time you hang out with somebody, people will start to talk about you because, believe it or not, gay men talk to their friends and other gay men a lot, and we are not always the most charitable or the most honest when it comes to telling our stories, telling events that happened. And so I can remember, a few years into it, kind of having a reputation. And this reputation wasn't exactly founded on anything, but it does start to get around and people hear about you. Oh, you're the gay farmer. Oh my gosh, yes, I've heard of you. And thankfully, my reputation was never, and hopefully currently isn't, super negative or scathing. But I've heard of people in my community in Alberta, Canada. These people are very notorious. These are people who cheated on fiancés or, got someone sick or got someone something. And you often hear about the one-off stories like, oh, this guy was at a club and he got bar banned, things like that. Just like in any community, you will have gossip, you will have busybodies saying one thing or another, talking smack, trying to undermine other people's reputations or ideas. And it is frustrating, and there's really no easy way to control it. You can just choose not to engage with any of it, which is kind of what I do. Just not engaging with whatever the current story is, whatever someone's trying to say, letting your actions and actually meeting people in person do the talking. And then these people understand like, oh no, I actually hung out with him and it's fine. Or I know someone who knows him and those stories aren't true. They're fabricated. So there's lots of ways that you can get around this issue, the gossip and the grapevine, without actually having to engage with it whatsoever. You can take the proactive approach and you can try and craft your reputation. I don't know if this necessarily works. I think you could ask any celebrity if crafting their reputation has worked out well for them. Look at people like Kim Kardashian or Meghan Markle for examples of people who have really tried to control what people think about them, and it fails spectacularly, whether you like these people or not. Trying to manipulate or control or manage your reputation does not always go the way you want it to, and there's always going to be unexpected twists and turns and things that you didn't see coming where somebody will say, oh, well, he did this, and they'll just take it the totally wrong way. And so there's really no surefire way to control how people perceive you. The best thing I think you can do is just behave respectfully and honestly and try and give people the benefit of the doubt. Don't believe the gossip. That also goes a long way in helping craft a better community and a better version of this gossip windmill that just keeps going round and round. I think it can be very damaging. It can also be super powerful and useful You know, I've had many experiences where I've been recognized through the community, and people are so nice and honest and, you know, forthcoming with love and information and, you know, support. So it's something that you definitely need to be aware of. You don't have to engage in it. And I think a lot of you are like-minded where, you know, you don't really want to engage in this stuff and you don't want to listen to gossip and you don't want to feed into it. And good on you for that, because this, if you think of it like a machine, it's kind of not in the control of anybody. It crushes anybody that it wants to, and it props up anybody who it wants to. So you really don't have a power or control over it. I think there are some people who just really know how to make it work. You know, like I think going back to the celebrity thing, there are certain celebrities that just have a great image. You know, they have a very well curated, strong, positive image. And that applies here too. There are going to be people in your circle who have just a really spotless image and everybody talks really highly of them. And sometimes it's dumb luck, but a lot of times it's because these people are just genuine and they're really forthcoming and honest and they communicate properly and they don't ghost people. They don't engage in this behavior that we think of as shady or, you know, not good. And these are things like cheating, ghosting, catfishing. There's all kinds of things like that throughout the gay community that really aren't tolerated. And as soon as you get a label for sort of catfishing or ghosting or cheating on somebody, it's really hard to get other people to kind of trust you because you have this past black mark on your name. And it's absolutely possible to recover from that. You know, several of my friends have made mistakes. You know, they've, you know, cheated on a friend or cheated on a boyfriend. And it takes a long time to sort of see them in a good light again, to trust them, for themselves to let their character shine through and get over a past mistake, because it's also not fair that a single mistake ruins your reputation forever. And that's not the case. Again, look at the celebrities who have done horrible things and yet they're still out there making millions. So I think those are important ideas to keep in mind when dealing with this, when dealing with gossip and the kinds of situations that you will find yourself in. Another huge part of it, and we touched on this briefly, but don't spread gossip, don't share it. I know it's really fun to sort of spread the tea and, you know, drag someone through the mud. It's really not worth it in the long run. There are more interesting things to talk about. We don't need to talk about someone's mistake on the worst day of their life. We can talk about who they are as a person, or, you know, how they treat their family, and these more concrete things. And if you really feel the need to gossip, try and do it with some trusted people that you know really won't spread it or have no ability to spread it inside the community. Because like I said, unless it's something super serious that needs to be known, you know, if somebody is actually like a threat or a danger, unless it's something like that, it might just be better to stay on the quiet side, because just by gossiping, you are putting a black mark on your name. Because I don't know about you, but I don't tend to hang out with the people that are super gossipy. They're in the know and they tell you every little detail of what someone brought to a bake sale, or, you know, who is fooling around with who. I just find these people kind of exhausting, and I don't think it's worth it to really engage in this kind of behavior. So don't be a gossiper. Nobody likes it. And they might tell you to your face that they love hearing all this stuff, but at the end of the day, they're probably just going to go and throw it back in your face and stab you in the back. So try to avoid it. My final thoughts on this: try and not engage, and try and not, you know, lean in and get interested in this gossip. Try and just keep it all at the back. Like I said, a lot of this gossip stuff forms your opinion of who these people are. So sometimes you can't help it. You run into somebody and you know the gossip about them, and that taints your perception of them. But in all honesty, my best advice is to give everybody a chance. Like, just because their reputation is one way or another, it's okay to even just ask them, like, hey, I don't want to be mean or anything, but, you know, such and such is happening and people are saying this about you. And, You know, that might not be the best thing to bring up on a first date, but you might want to be a little careful with how you structure it. But again, best advice, don't engage in the gay gossip. Don't engage in all of the he said, she said drama, because it'll just get you burned. That's all I've got to say. The dogs want dinner. So thank you for listening to this episode on gay gossip. I think I covered most of the points. There's a few other things I want to talk about, but those will be in another video. If you like this kind of content, let me know that you like it. Follow me on Patreon, Instagram, TikTok. I'm everywhere. You know, give me your comments and your thoughts. Be respectful. Don't spread gossip. And as always, I will talk to you guys tomorrow.